Hello, it's In Between, and I'm going to do exactly what I teased yesterday with Friday. I work for the lovely company that I went to the front page of and tried to see what pop culture was there. Adrian Lyne, the director of Flashdance.
Okay.
They have released a 4K
Cut. Remastered.
Remastered re-release of it. And Adrian Lyne, I don't know if you've ever read interviews with him, but he's kind of a creepoid. You know, a lot of his movies are a little sleazy and whatnot. But the headline from our front page is Flashdance director Adrian Lyne remembers seeing future star Jennifer Beals for the first time and thinking, fuck, she's beautiful. Filmmaker had plenty of doubts about the totally absurd dance movie before it became the biggest hit of 1983 and unlikeliest, his biggest hit. When's the last time either one of you saw that movie?
Flashdance? Back when I was a kid.
I've never watched it.
Have you not? So then let me describe to you this movie. This is a woman who is a dancer.
A welder.
Hang on. We're gonna.
That's right. I know some of these elements, but yeah.
She wants to be a dancer. She's a welder, but the club that she dances at, the most famous moment of is she's in a lingerie. She sits on a chair and they pour water on her, which would, as we know it, you're in lingerie, would make her almost appear naked.
Yeah.
Because the clothes would cling to her. Shelly and I'm like, okay, this movie is about a stripper who's a welder. And she's like, she's not a stripper. She's a dancer. I'm like, what fucking nightclub does she work at where she gets wet and dances around? She is a stripper. Sure enough, at least creepoid Adrian Lyne at some point said, look, she's a stripper.
Yeah.
There was a high-end club somewhere in like a Detroit where they did this kind of thing where it was, we're going to do tasteful nudity and whatnot, and that's kind of what they based it on. So we talk about where does the ape fit in? When is that an actor want to go watch the end of that film when she goes and auditions for the dance university or whatever she wants to study at? Oh my God, it is the worst cut to somebody else wearing hair like hers. It is not her. And you look at it and it's like they could not even find the right kind of wig.
Well, in Indiana Jones, there's a scene where the guy that's always in the Nazi that's in the leather, he wasn't available for a scene. And so they just put literally his jacket and a hat on, on a coat rack and put it in a car.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Look, that's part of movie, and I say this makes my mom so mad, but I'm like, movies are lies. It is nothing but a succession of I'm lying to you what I'm doing because you could be shooting this in Idaho, and then I cut to the same moment, but they're shooting it in California. It's a lie to tell you a story, right? Mm-hmm. I saw this, and I thought, he's one of those directors that I've never understood how he got all the success he did. It's just, he is just such a nasty, nasty man. How would you feel if you're Jennifer Beal waking up today and it's like, fuck, she's beautiful? Yuck.
Who is this?
What's Adrian Lyne.
The director.
What else did he do?
Oh, all kinds of shitty films like that. Why am I not here? I'll fuck that.
Go IMDb.
What's his name?
Hang on, I got it.
Adrian
Zamed. No.
Adrian Lynn?
Yeah, it's actually Lyne.
Lyne.
All right, here while y'all are looking that up, I'm gonna
he looks familiar.
I'm gonna go grab something real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who this is. Yeah.
Yeah. So his other films were Jacob's Ladder, Flashdance, Fatal Attraction, which Fatal Attraction.
So he's had some successful films then.
He has.
Okay, yeah.
He has, but Flashdance is the one that kind of started his whole thing, and he's still directing. He's still, in fact, he made that Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas film that got just panned recently called Deep Water. Okay. I never watched it, but it always
he did
has
9.5 weeks.
Yeah, boy, go back and watch that movie.
He
that movie is like
sexploitative movies. Yeah.
He always has that kind of element to his films.
Jacob's Ladder wasn't like that though.
You're right. I didn't like Jacob's Ladder. I
didn't either. I was really pissed off by the ending. Spoilers for a 30-year-old movie. Whenever the answer to everything was it was all a dream, that just feels like an out to me.
It does.
It's really cheap out.
You better earn that somehow. That makes it unique.
Like anytime I see on a TV show where somebody, something weird's going on, you go, that's not right, and then they wake up. You're like, what was the whole purpose of that? I mean, a dream means nothing to me. It's inconsequential. It doesn't unless the dream is actually affecting reality somehow. You're just showing me what went on in somebody's head. And I don't give a shit.
Go watch things like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where you can fuck with the perceptions of reality and whatnot, and what does that mean? And am I losing something by doing this? That's how you tell that story.
Yeah.
But when it's just boink, wake up. it's all over.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right, so real quick, 2 weeks ago, I texted you guys. I just said no context at all. I said R2D2 or Grogu. And
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
both,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
y'all
yeah,
both said
yeah.
R2D2. Well, this is why. Hang on a second. Y'all talk. I'm going to grab some.
What are we
Okay.
talking about? He's
grabbing
grabbing
cards?
I
Deck of
hope he's. I
cards?
hope he's not grabbing one of us.
Whoa.
Sean is kind of like
Goodness.
that. He'll just all of a sudden come to you and grab you, and it's like, uh-oh, we're in trouble. Uh-oh. Aw.
Oh, what is this? Oh, it's a Tamagotchi. Oh,
It's an R2D2 Tamagotchi.
that's cool.
Tell the audience if they don't know what that is.
I've got the Grogu Tamagotchi
Okay.
over here. It's back in the 90s, a little Japanese toy. It's like a little keychain that has a digital character on it, and you had to feed it and keep it alive and play with it and everything. And so they have. I gave Richard and Chris a little R2D2, and I've got a little Grogu.
I would be Todd, but that's okay. I'll be Chris.
sorry,
and
Richard
it's-
and Chris.
You got a Grogu?
I got a little Grogu.
There you go.
Okay.
And so my challenge is not for next week,
Uh-huh.
but the week after. You have to keep it alive and happy, and let's see how our Tamagotchis are doing. Not next Saturday, but the Saturday after.
First off, very sweet of you. Thank
Yes.
you. And here I am, the one that will not play any other games with you guys because I'm like, Jesus Christ, I do enough with Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, and now he gives me this. I got to keep this little bitch alive.
You got to keep it alive.
I do. Can I kill it after that?
Well, it's yours. I mean, you can kill it if you want to.
I just want R2. Is he gonna make little noises
Well, I mean,
at
if
me?
The print on this back is so fucking tiny.
It
I
is.
mean, I need my reading glasses to be
What do
able
you
to
want
see
to
it.
know?
But it's got like special
Train
characters that'll
R2D2.
show up.
Yeah.
Oh look, I got Chewie. I got
Yeah.
to put out fires.
And I think you've got like mystery characters that might
Charge
show
and
up. So,
wipe.
like,
I got
games,
Yoda, Boba
unlock.
Fett, 3PO,
Oh,
Ewok.
there's Chewie. Yeah, Chewie's on there. And,
I'm gonna kill the fucking
more
Ewok.
games.
Here, do you want to see what Grogu does?
Special visitors. Special visitors are Yoda, Boba Fett, C-3PO, and Ewok. And I guess there's starships in here too. So that's
That's
kind of
cute.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
There,
very
you wanna
cute.
see
Thank
that
you,
one?
Sean. That'll be fun. Where'd you get
Who's
these?
on yours?
Amazon.
You have let's see, games, unlock, more games. I have to admit special visitors.
Yeah.
Ahsoka's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Speaking of Ahsoka,
Well, I'm sure the Mandalorian's in there somewhere.
I think he
yeah,
is.
no,
he-
there's
yeah,
there's
okay.
a scene
He's
right
bending
there.
over. Okay, so speaking of Ahsoka, we just recently had Star Wars Celebration in Europe and trailers. Even though before
I
we
guess
get
we haven't
to it-
even talked about that, have we?
No, we have not. So what surprises me, there weren't that many trailers
or
that we've seen.
that they've released. They've released trailers there that they haven't put out to
in
the
years
public.
prior, they found ways
to get them
show
out there,
them,
yeah.
but we really only saw a few. So Ahsoka.
We haven't seen anything about Skeleton Crew. We haven't seen anything
Right.
about the Acolyte.
Right.
Yeah. Ahsoka, I texted you guys
Yep.
as soon as I saw the trailers. I got goosebumps watching it because it really feels like you're Rebels season 6.
It does.
Because we've seen Zeb.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've seen
Hera.
Sabine,
Mm-hmm.
Chopper, Ahsoka. All we're missing is Ezra, and then Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character is dead. So maybe we'll see
he
him
could
in
come back as a
flashback.
ghost.
Be
Yeah,
a Force Ghost,
Force
yeah, if they
Ghost.
wanted to.
And why not? At that point, cast Freddie Prinze Jr. He did a great job
that's
with the
right.
voice.
If
Yeah,
you're
put
gonna
him
do
in
it, put him in it. Yeah.
So-
because he's gonna have a mask on anyway,
Right.
since he was blind.
What I found surprising in all the interviews, and I don't know if you paid attention to this, the woman that's playing Hera, that's Ewan McGregor's
Yeah.
wife, but they did not mention that's his wife.
Really?
Yes.
That it's,
So he left
Ramona
his wife
Flowers,
of many
yeah.
years, and he met this woman when they were shooting Fargo together, and they've been together now for a good 6-7 years, maybe 5 years or something like that. But yeah,
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
yeah, they're
okay, yeah.
and she's a fantastic fucking actor.
Yeah.
But
but they just kind of slipped that one in with no.
and they're both there.
Yeah.
You never saw. There are no. I looked. I became almost obsessed. Are there photos? There are no photos of them together at Star Wars Celebration that I can find.
Really?
It's almost like they kept it. Obi-Wan and Hera are married. We don't want to talk about it.
So was it Hera that had the kid or Sabine? I can't remember. Hera. Yeah. So are we gonna see that kid in this?
So I wanted to ask about that because after that came out, Abby was home that weekend, and Abby likes the Ahsoka character, and I was showing the trailer to Chili and Abby, and then on YouTube, you know how they'll just suggest clips. It became that clip from Rebels when Ahsoka fights Vader.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, this is good 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Watch this. This is a great moment. And then I thought, I want to see the last few episodes of Rebels, and I went and watched.
I did that too. I
Did
went to
you?
watch the
Okay, all
endings.
right, all right.
I went and watched like the last 5 or so
Yeah.
like that, and it's great. It fucking holds up. It's beautifully done. Even though I don't remember So Hera confesses her love for why can't I think of the Freddie Prinze?
I can't remember his name.
Kanan?
Yeah.
Kanan professes her love when she's a little bit under the influence of the probe droid that's been interrogating her. When did they have sex to have a
I
kid?
don't know.
Because and then he dies shortly after that in the show, and I'm like, okay, they loved. Did they boink somewhere and I forgot about it?
Maybe Twi'leks reproduce differently.
Maybe that kiss, that's how they get it going. Those tendrils. You know.
Well, I mean, it was largely a kid show, so they might have
Yeah.
kept that off screen.
Yeah, it was one of those. I thought I love that they had a kid together. I love that idea, but I just don't recall.
And then somebody pointed out. So at the end of it, did you watch all the way through the end? So you saw the end of it again?
Yes, I did.
That starship, its windows are blown out and everything, and then the whales come and grab
Yeah.
it and pull up. How do you go through hyperspace with no windows? I mean,
Maybe the whales
Yeah.
protect you.
And so Thrawn is back. So obviously we're going to find Ezra at some point. So that's going to be very.
I mean, that's the quest, right?
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
assume that what she's doing.
And then they also noticed that announced that Filoni gets to direct a film, which will be the culmination of all
And the
these
fact that
threads.
they actually name checked him in The Mandalorian, saying, "Where's Thrawn? We haven't seen him," and all that kind of stuff, and had his assistant there and everything.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this tomorrow, we're probably giving small spoilers for the last week's episode
For Wednesday,
Yeah.
It'll be a week.
Mandalorian, but
you've had a week at this point.
We've only had one more episode left of
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
Oh, is it only
Yeah,
one
it's only
more?
8 episodes
Yeah.
a season. Yeah.
Well, so the question for me is: this last episode of Mandalorian going to cliffhanger? Is it going to springboard into Ahsoka?
Ahsoka,
Is it
maybe.
just going to kind of?
Well, okay, so spoilers for people who haven't seen it. We've got the Mandalorian's been captured by the new Empire, or
By
whatever.
Moff Gideon wearing
And then-
Beskar armor.
And the whole time that was happening, I was literally screaming, "Why is she not using her sword and cutting the door down or something?" Yeah. But we've got to get Grogu somehow with Omega all together so that they can make the cloning of the Emperor at some point. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting.
Well, then let's dial back to how. Starbuck. What's her character's name? Bo-Katan. How there was a lot of rumbling amongst the nerd community that she got the dark saber too
Too easy.
easily, and I'm like, okay. The funny thing was, I thought when he got captured, she rescued him. I even thought right then, I'm like, she deserves
won.
it.
Yeah.
That's hers now. She's saved you. She's the better hero. So the people that threw the big fit, I'm like, shut up. What did you think she was going to do? Kill the Mandalorian, who's the star of your show, and you all love him?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. There had to be a truthful way, and that's a truthful way.
Yeah, he used the spirit of the law to beat the letter of the law.
And also, stories don't always have to be beat for beat for beat the way you think they're going to be. Sometimes
Also,
they're
people
going
can
to flip.
change.
Man, I am so sick of the nerd community. I've been that way for a long time. I get bored with it. And it's the same as now, shifting over to the Marvel movies. There is such a negative sentiment because now, if you read the trade papers, they're talking the last returns since the Avengers. Since
They've
the
been
Avengers,
getting lower,
they
yeah.
have been dipping gradually lower and lower. And then you go out in the nerd community. Yeah, well, Shazam failed worse.
So what?
We've got to get away from, number one, this is not a pissing contest over fucking superheroes. If you like the movie, like it. If you don't.
It's not a zero-sum game. If Marvel makes $100, that doesn't mean DC loses $100.
No. And even James Gunn came out and said, you've got to stop this. When Marvel has success, we get more success
A rising
for DC.
tide raises all boats.
That's right. And he's trying to say, listen, I want to build something I think you're going to think is special. Quit thinking they have to lose for that to happen. But that also comes down to one of my biggest pet peeves, and I think we have to stop it. I don't want to see box office totals for movies anymore. It is so irrelevant to what art is and what entertainment is.
True, because they also have a life that's beyond the box office.
Exactly.
I mean, look at movies that failed in the theaters that find a second life on home video, or movies on demand, or find a second life when it comes back in the theater. A Rocky Horror Picture Show that comes back and stays in the theaters over and over and over
again. The fact that Jaws still continues, they release it every summer. Which, by the way, did you know they did a 3D version of that?
No.
And I missed it. It's some guy that actually has developed all this new technology. I was listening to his interview, and Spielberg worked with him frame to frame. And it was like, I never want to just do scares. What I want to see is
You never want to do Jaws 3D?
Yeah, and it was like, he said, obviously there are moments when the shark comes at the screen where it's going to pop a little. But Spielberg, he said, what I wanted was the depth to make them feel even more isolated in the ocean. Abby got to see it. She's like, "Oh yeah, I went and saw that. It was cool." I was like,
She didn't
"You little
tell you?
Shit, didn't tell me, and I missed it. And now
I didn't hear about that.
If
at
it
all.
comes back out, we're gonna go
All right.
because for all my projector shit I have downstairs, I don't have the ability with 3D glasses. So if it hits the theaters,
All right.
I don't. Yeah, you and I've seen the Batman together. Have we ever seen other movies? That's
think so, no.
Then you're going to see Jaws.
Okay.
I am throwing that. You can bring Chris if you want.
I'm sure you'd appreciate
Does JJ
that.
like that, or is she not a fan?
As a matter of
because it's
fact,
horror-ish?
JJ and I had a debate over that because we were babysitting at her oldest nephew, but he was 8 or 9 at the time, and she goes, "We ought to show him Jaws." I went, "Really? You want to show him Jaws?" I go, "I don't have a problem with that, but." He might be a little young for it.
Right.
And then she goes, "Well, we'll just call my mom and ask her." And she called mom. She's like, "Fine. All right." So we showed him Jaws.
My parents kept me from seeing Jaws. They went to see it and came back and said it's too intense for you. But I don't know if you remember. I know that they cut some blood from it, and it wasn't like a dumbed down version. But I got to go see it because of that. Now, it did haunt my ass so much that I am just obsessed with sharks, and I've gone diving with sharks and seen that. I still want to dive with a great white, but I didn't die because of it. You know? And then I'm sorry, that movie formed me just as much as Star Wars did. I love that fucking movie.
Nah.
All right, so what else have we got? That's only 16 minutes in, and we cannot make this the shortest in between ever.
Wait, so what else from Star Wars? Ahsoka trailer, Mandalorian. Oh, Marvel stuff. Secret Invasion. Did you see that trailer with Stan Fury
Yeah.
or Nick Fury? Sorry.
Having read the comic event,
Oh,
I'm
the Marvels trailer. Did you see that as well?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
having read the comic event that was bigger and grander.
Which one? There were many Secret Invasion events.
Well, the one that Bendis was involved with.
Yeah.
It feels a little the smaller scale Secret Invasion where it's just Fury is a little bit underwhelming just because I really enjoyed the big event
Right.
with all who's a Skrull, who's not a Skrull
Well, I mean,
of the
but-
Marvel characters. So I kind of wanted to see that, but we're not going to get that kind of grandness anymore.
Well, we don't know that.
Until they
We
rebuild their universe.
We could find out that a Hawkeye has been a Skrull this whole time and we didn't know it. And then that's the reason Jeremy Renner's not active anymore for a little while or something like that.
What is up with that show? Renovations that he's got come Disney.
I think it's either poorly planned or deliberately planned to release that. There's just a show on Disney
Yeah,
Plus called, I saw it come up too. It's like, wow,
But I mean,
Well,
was this
weird
after
marketing.
the snow accident?
No, this
No,
was
it was
recorded
shot. It
way
was shot
before.
before, and it was intended to come out around the time of it, and they delayed it. And he asked them not to delay it because it's about him giving back
okay.
to people.
All right.
And he went back and said, "Look, I'm okay. I'm going to be fine. Please." He's like, "This is
They didn't
very
want-
important to me. Don't."
Okay,
It's
don't
really
delay
what
it."
it's about. It's about
helping. Yeah.
And it's about they and it's not just like they renovate a home or something, but like they renovate a mobile something that gives to the community.
Okay.
And he is apparently one of those kind of people that's almost like you hear Keanu Reeves where he'll give his money away that he makes in movies. Jeremy Renner's apparently a lot like that too, that really wants to give back. And he was the one, I read that in the Hollywood Reporter or something. Where
is that
he-
what his app was supposed to do?
I don't know.
No, it's just supposed to embarrass him. Yeah.
But he apparently said, please don't delay it anymore. So
Okay.
they put it out. And
Well,
it's
at least
also
it was done
smart
with
because
his-
it jumps on in at that point too and uses what happened to him.
Yeah. If he was part of it, then that makes sense.
I
was
know
making
I've
sure
said
what-
this to both of you that I've gotten tired of the typical superhero film just because it feels repetitive. I loved Shazam and I want to watch that.
the second one.
Yeah. But I find myself not giving a shit.
It'll be out on DVD next month.
And then
Yeah.
part of it was to your point about box office when it didn't do well the first week.
People
I
just
didn't want to go see it anymore.
And
I mean,
that-
I had a mild interest in it. I was like, I could go see this movie in the theater. I
think-
but I don't need to rush out the first weekend. But
Right.
because it did so bad, it really did kind of discourage me from wanting to
what,
see it.
It
what
does.
kept me from seeing it in theaters was just knowing that the DC universe is being revamped, and so this is not necessarily a must see to know what's going on with the DC universe.
Right.
I've heard some people talk about that. That was the reason they're like, the universe is changing. Why do I want to see this film?
I'll watch. I've gotten to the point too, and I think COVID has changed me 100% to this. That I just don't want to sit in the theaters anymore. I don't want to be around people that are going to talk I'm one of those that hearing somebody munch on popcorn, I munch it, but listening to somebody else distracts me. I don't like it. I'd rather wait that extra few weeks and watch it at my house where it's just me.
Yeah.
And so I'm waiting. I think Shazam came out last week where you could buy it for $20, but it's not available for rent fee. So it's got to be within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we looked
it's
at
literally going to be on DVD.
We thought about the purchase price. Like,
May.
Yeah.
we actually like, should we spend the money on that? Oh, I'm not really sure.
I really
We
have
opted
gotten to
not
that
to.
point now. Like, Shelly keeps DirecTV because she likes to watch tennis and whatnot and gets it on there. But I just do it for movies. And when I see it's $20, I'm like, nope, not interested. When I see it's $5, I'm like, yes, I'll
Yeah,
watch
but then
it.
you what was
May
that,
23rd.
what was that film we watched on Peacock that you could watch it for free on Peacock or go to the theaters for it? What was the film?
Oh, a lot of them. The last Halloween was that way too.
They did that with Glass Onion on Netflix.
That's true.
They put it in theaters for a week.
And I look,
Ant-Man's on DVD May 16th.
if they would get away from that, and I think that media consumption has changed so much that maybe they need to consider that this isn't the #1 movie in America. I don't give a shit. That's the thing, is it doesn't make me want to go see it. I'm like,
Those commercials never did anything for me because it's only the #1 movie in America this week, and then next week somebody else gets to make
Yeah.
that claim. Unless you're Titanic for that brief run where
Right.
where it's dominating
right.
box office for 6 months in a
That
row.
iconic movie that comes along about once every 10 years
Yeah.
that just
But otherwise,
owns everything.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers, the #1 film in America. Great. Next week it won't be.
And it's the same as Avatar. I'll watch it. But
I'll watch it when it comes out.
Yes.
On whatever platform's going to carry it. I don't think I'll even like rent it or anything. But who do you hear talking about Avatar?
No one.
Who do you hear
gosh.
talking about the first Avatar? Even no. I mean, Avatar is
But at
made
the
its
same
$1
time,
billion, came and went.
But it also made its $1 billion the second time around.
I know.
There is a community that loves that shit. It's just that when I watched it, it was so derivative of other things.
Dances
Like
with Wolves.
it was Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
And again,
Wait, did you see the new one?
I have not yet.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
No, I'm not. I don't even know that I'll watch it on
I'll
TV.
watch it because I want to know. But
I watched the honest trailers.
well, I've said this before about Cameron. I'm going to describe a movie, and I want you to tell me which one of his movies it is.
Okay.
A woman has to set out on an adventure because an evil company is doing something at which she must escape. And in the end, she somehow teaches that lesson. Is it Terminator, Titanic, Aliens,
The Abyss.
The Abyss? Every one of his movies, it's that same conceit. And it's just like, dude, you're very talented, but quit making the same fucking movie and dressing it different every time. You know what? I get excited because I get Thanksgiving once a year. But if somebody came in and said, this meal, we're calling this Hallelujah meal. No, it's fucking Thanksgiving dinner. It's the same goddamn movie every time. And I can't unsee that. Once I saw, and that was not my own revelation, but I listened to a podcast and someone was like dressing down someone that called him the best filmmaker in America. And they're like, okay, he's really talented, but he makes the same movie over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Which I did try to get Abby recently to watch the first Terminator, and she's like, that looks like a stupid movie. I'm like, okay, I said that first one's a great fucking
Yeah.
movie. Anyway, we got
Well,
anything
it's
else?
a great movie because it also partially ripped off Harlan Ellison.
Oh, did it really?
Yes. If you look at the credits for it, it has a special thanks to.
Does it really?
Hang
So
on.
that was his story?
He wrote a story called "Demon with a Glass Hand" about a man that travels back in time and he's being chased by a machine that's trying to kill him. And I think he like literally has all of humanity's DNA, and he's going back in time so he can replace humanity because it's been destroyed in the future.
That's a great idea. Did he pay Harlan Ellison anything for that, or is Harlan Ellison pissed because he simply got it?
Harlan Ellison's dead.
Oh, is
but-
he dead?
Oh yeah.
What was okay? How did he react to it? I guess I did know he was dead.
Let's see here. Hang on, here he is. Was Harlan 1984's The Terminator or Harlan Ellison ripoff? Let's see. I'm just going to the end of this article to see what happens because it said like somebody. I don't know. He could have had it for free, Ellison said, if he had asked me. Whether or not it's true isn't super relevant because we can't revisit this alternate dimension. I'm assuming, let's see here. Terminator.
Do you think that if I were to rip off Terminator and make my own version, that camera would have that same? If he just asked for it, I'd give it for him free. No.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're pretty much at the end of this. Anybody got anything that you want to toss in before we get to the last 5 minutes that we're going to record?
No.
No?
Nope.
No? Okay. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Trying to-